All right, we are live here on the YouTube channel. So I'm live here. I have my phone over here, and I'm actually going to go live on Facebook because today specifically we have one important discussion and thing to talk about. That's why it's going to be called an emergency live, and then we have to pick a winner for our Dirt Cup Ultimate Fan Experience giveaway. How are you guys doing on a Sunday? Like I said, we have Facebook over here. We have the YouTube Live over this way. As you guys pop in the chat, make sure to let me know where you are watching from. We are in the race shop, of course, just like normal. I'm looking at my beautiful race car. I spent like 3 or 4. I'm watching my own live stream. I spent 3 or 4 hours last night, guys, literally in the shop, just kind of like tweaking with little things with our car, really trying to make sure everything's perfect. We have a very, very big week of racing ahead. And that's one thing we're going to kind of talk about here today. So I felt like I really wanted to just put in that little bit extra effort. We've had, a couple late nights in the shop. We didn't race this weekend, so we had that extra time, but also getting ready for a speed week. 8 nights in 11 days, that's a lot. Throughout those eight races, a lot is going to happen. Hopefully for us, we want to run really, really well, kind of stay towards the front and, have a good opportunity at some of the biggest money the West Coast has ever seen, right? All the Speed Week shows pay pretty decent. And then, of course, going to Dirt Cup, we're racing for $62,000. It's 62 grand to win, but there's also $500 in lap money for every lap you lead. So if you were to lead all 50 or 40 laps like Justin Sanders did last year, he walked out of there with $82,000. And even the guys that run second and third get a good payday as well, because I think it pays $300 a lap for every lap you run in second. So like the leader gets 500, second gets 300, and I think the next car gets 200. So I think it pays 62,000 to win, 26,000 for second, and 18,000 for third. But you could run third and still walk away with, over 20, some extra money, 20, 23, 25,000 maybe. And if you run second, you could get 26 grand, but also, if you run second most of the race, you're going to walk out of there with over 30 or 35 or whatever. So I was just kind of saying, so I got Facebook Live over this way because we're going to be picking the drawing for our Ultimate Dirt Cup experience. You can see all these chips in here. We got 57 chips and 57 chips. So how are you guys all doing in the chat? Let me know where you are watching from. As I was just kind of saying, man, we're getting ready for a big week of racing. We got a lot of really, really cool stuff getting ready to happen. I did call this, I was telling them, I'm calling this an emergency live stream because we do have one important thing that we are going to kind of talk about that I'm going to give you a little insider news on. I've kind of hinted at it, and I'm going to just hint at it a little bit more today, but like we're just in the process of doing it, and it's going to be so, so cool. And it's getting ready to happen too, or it's coming up in the next 4 to 6 weeks, kind of that, we're kind of getting into that time of the year. And what a great time of racing to be, like I said, this time of the season. Summer, if you're on the West Coast, we have a speed week right now. Ohio Speed Week's going on out there. This weekend, they had High Limit and Outlaw shows. Super jealous I wasn't at either of those. The racing was pretty good. Rico kind of dominated I-70 there, but that racetrack that they were at, I'm going to totally butcher the name, so I'm not even going to say it. It starts with an O. I think it was in Minnesota last night, or it was up north there. Maybe it's North Dakota. I don't know, but that place looked incredible. There was a really good, 3-car finish there to the end. So yeah, a lot of great racing right now, a lot of options. You can run some more regional series. You can run all the national stuff. Even out here, like I said, sometimes the West Coast is kind of hit or miss for all of our stuff. And we're about to get into our busiest time of the year, I would say. And then once we check this off our list, we have a little bit of time to prepare. And then we're headed wide open for the, I shouldn't say the East Coast, but the Midwest, kind of all out that way. We're going to go towards Knoxville, run there. Supposed to go to Eldora, come back to Knoxville, run, try to get prepared for the Nationals. And then we're, ready for 360 and 410, which is kind of what we're going to be talking about here in just a little bit. But yeah, like I kind of had said before everyone was kind of jumping on, just really been spending a lot of time here in the shop. Last night specifically, had our car on scales and kind of just, like I said, working through a lot of little things and just seeing where it's at. And, like I said, trying to cross all of our T's, dot all of our I's, in 410 racing specifically. And any racing at a high level. There's big 360 races that are the same way, but when you're running with the Outlaws, when you're running with High Limit, when you're even running with NARC and KWS and a big race like Dirt Cup, where there's going to be some national teams and all your big West Coast guys, like you got to be so perfect every time you hit the track, and you don't want to like overthink that. It's easy to. You just got to go out there and race the best you can, but you really do got to put your best foot forward and try to qualify well and pass cars in your heat. And depending on how the invert lines up, that race has inverts on their prelim night. So like if you're the highest point car, you could start 16th and you have to drive your way through the field. So there's a combination of being smart and putting a lot on the line, but knowing when to go hard, when to back off a little bit, when to be content with where you're at, and all of that kind of goes towards the end goal. So before we answer questions today, because I'm going to give you guys the chance here, like I said, I have my Facebook Live over this way. But here on the YouTube, if you guys want to be asking questions, I will be answering them for you. Like I said, we're getting ready to get into this huge speed week. So, I mean, things are going to be extremely busy. We kind of have some stuff to update on. What I like about doing this is we get a chance to just talk about some really cool stuff. And of course, the last couple weeks for our team has been really good. We won the Marvin Smith Memorial. We ran, I think in our last 4 nights, our average finish is 1.5. We ran second twice and won twice. So we've had, starting to really pick up our speed, even had some speed down there in California. Some of the nights I, screwed up a little bit here and there. And I think that our results didn't really show where we were at, but, made a dash there with NARC. We were starting up front. I made a mistake. Antioch, I think we were the hard charger. Even that race at Silver Dollar earlier in May, like I think we could have won that race if things fell a little bit different. So like basically all throughout May, we were much more, where we wanted to be. And, like I said, had really, really good speed. Bryce Moody, he said, I can't wait to see you at NARC run through Oregon and Washington. Bryce, I'm excited to see you. It's going to be a fun week. This is like probably some of the races I've circled highest on, and even though I'm going to some races that are really big in the Midwest. So on to, before we get to talking here, like I told you guys, I have all these chips. I got 57 chips. They are either green, blue, or red. And there's actually 57, not 57. There's 57 spots, but not all are 57 different names. But, here you guys know with what we do and stuff, everything that I do that revolves around my race team is to help support our team. First off, I do love what I do. That's what came first. But everything that I do, I'm very fortunate that it has helped grow our operation into the spot that it is today. And so we're always trying to do cool, creative things. And one of them was this year doing an ultimate dirt cup experience. So that's what we called it. And basically what it is an opportunity to be on our nose wing for the dirt cup. You would get your logo. So we did 100 spots at $55 a spot. We had 57 of the spots that were taken. So that was just a unique way for us to, like I said, support us for the Dirt Cup weekend. It's a big one. We want to run well. Anyway, that's long story short of that. So what the winner is going to get is that logo spot. They also get to keep the nose wing at the end of the weekend, or I'm going to ship it to them. And they get 2 pit passes for the entire weekend. So, whoever wins, they can bring a friend or bring their spouse or whatever the case may be. And get to enjoy the Dirt Cup on us as a partner of Tanner Holmes Racing. So that's really neat. I thought that was awesome. Obviously for whoever wins, that's going to be a hell of a deal. And then we also threw in some other items because, only thing I don't like about doing the whole contest style deal, it's really cool. Other teams have done it. It's a great way for us to gather some support, but I do hate that only one person wins. And I know that's kind of just the risk you take, but so long story short, we also threw in 4 other items. So hopefully some other people, like I said, can capture something. So we have a signed wheel cover off of our car. We have a signed front nose wing panel from this season. We also have a Tanner Holmes t-shirt pack. So you're going to get multiple t-shirts of our collections from this season and last. And then we also have a hat pack, which is really cool. A bunch of the hats that we have in stock right now, which if you've been to our merchandise trailer, we got a lot. So you're going to get a good deal on that. Just real quickly, wanted to say thank you to Jerry. He said, best of luck at Skagit Speedway. So I'm sure most of the people that have entered are on our live right now. But like I said, we have 1 through 57. So I don't know why, but I was nervous to go live today because of this. And I never, just to be honest with all you guys, I don't ever get nervous really to get on camera anymore. If it's an interview, The only time I'd probably be nervous to talk is just on stage because I haven't done a lot of public speaking. I do want to do that more to get myself out of my comfort zone. But I'm always, anytime I have to pull a chip, because we've done this a couple times, you know, I'm definitely more nervous. I don't know why. Like I said, I think it's because I feel bad for all the 56 people that don't win, but then the one person that wins, it's like the coolest thing. Like I said, they're gonna they're gonna get a little piece of our car from the 2024 season and get their logo and whatnot on as well. So that's kind of that. I'm gonna shake it up really, really good. Like I said, we have Facebook over here. We are live on YouTube here. So, and basically everybody, just to say one more time, everybody has their number. So these each have a number on them. Whatever number we pick is who is gonna get the grand prize, which is the nose wing. And then after that, we'll draw each other prize. Okay. It's number 24, which is Rusty Myers. So Rusty Myers, he had purchased 4 spots, and he has the Ultimate Dirt Cup experience. That's pretty cool for Rusty. I was looking around. Like I said, I just had numbered all these. So that's cool. So Rusty, you have the Ultimate Dirt Cup experience. I will be getting in touch with you. So now on to the cover, the wheel cover, signed by myself, and I think Harley signed it too. $20, Todd Anderson. So Todd Anderson, I'm going to be sending you a wheel cover from this season on our new Valco wheels. And for the nose wing panel 2, Daniel Geist. Daniel, you have a nose wing panel signed by myself heading your way. And for the t-shirt pack 52, Ted Smith. Ted Smith, I will be sending you some t-shirts. And last, $54, Tamara McMillan. Tamara McMillan, I will be sending you the THR hat pack. So those are the 5. Thank you guys for entering that. That's always really cool. I really enjoy doing that. And like I said, it's a really cool way for us to support our team. So thank you all for tuning in for that portion of today. Like this is what I'm telling you guys about. Like, look at all this. I have all these chips. This is sad. That's the only thing I hate about it. But it's cool. Like I said, we try to give out as many different cool prizes as possible. So yeah, so like I said, that's kind of what's coming up next. Dirt Cup, the race that we've kind of had circled on our calendar for the entire season. Really looking forward to getting to it. Skagit's such a great track. If you've never been to Skagit Speedway, you absolutely should have that place circled on your bucket list. And what's cool is you could come out and experience the West. Like, obviously for people that aren't out this way, you can. For people that aren't out this way, coming out to the West Coast, it's tough. You got to fly a couple thousand miles across the country. It's not just like a quick drive. When you live out in Oklahoma or Indiana or whatever, you could go a couple states and not too much terrible time. But when you're out this way, you got to go all the way across the country. So what I would recommend, though, if you ever want to get out to the West Coast and you want to see some racing, Skagit is really good. And honestly, this whole speed week that they're doing here would be one of your best chances because you can watch, in a 9-hour stretch, because Southern Oregon Speedway, the first night to Skagit, which is the last night of the 8 days, it is, it's about 9 hours. So in a 9-hour stretch, all straight up I-5, which is for the most part, you only got to get off I-5 once, kind of when you head towards Grace Harbor. You can watch let's see, 6 different tracks? Yeah, 6 different tracks, 8 nights of racing, a lot of money on the line. And if you get out to Skagit, Seattle's just a little bit south. That's a beautiful city, a lot of cool things to see in Washington. The Northwest, if you're outdoorsy, you kind of like the coast and the ocean, but not really like tropical, like cold, rocky, but like, a little bit different scenery and stuff. It's well worth it. And in the drive, and everything's really green and thick. So that's the Northwest. That's home for me. So if you guys ever want to get out this way and you want to watch some racing, but also kind of, experience a little bit different what we got, the Northwest, Skagit Speedway, can't really go wrong with that. So I'm going to pull up the live stream now. If you guys have questions, definitely don't be afraid to send them in the chat. I'll start kind of answering where we're at with things. Like I mentioned, after Dirt Cup, we have a little bit of time off to prepare, and then we're heading full speed for the Midwest because we got some racing to do, and we're really excited to get out there and get things underway. Basically, once we start racing in July, we got probably 2 really strong months where we're every weekend really, really hard shows, Outlaws and High Limit, basically through the end of the year. And then we have a couple weeks kind of in between our last race, and then we go to Trophy Cup. And Trophy Cup is kind of how we end our season, a big 360 show down in Tulare, a lot of really, really good cars. So we're looking forward to getting down there. And Trophy Cup is a race that everyone kind of has circled on their list, even though it's a 360 show. I think the champion this year is getting 30 grand. Tulare is a really hard track to conquer. If you can conquer that place, you did something right. So that's definitely one that everyone's going to have on their bucket list. So Chris Kraft said, will you be back in Posse Country? So Posse Country, that's one I would love to get to. I have always wanted to get back to Pennsylvania after running there last year, Port Royal and Williams Grove, and kind of going to see how our season falls. Right now, we don't really have a clear path that way, but in the future, I think if I could have my operation more out in the Midwest, the goal is to get to PA and, run there weekly and, for a little bit, run there in spurts and hit the big shows. Like they just had the Weikert and it was $75,000 to win, crazy the amount of money that's in 410 sprint car racing this year. And of course, only one person is going to win that, but still, that's huge. So D Zimmer said Jackson Nationals. So if you look at my schedule right now, Jackson, if I'm just being honest, Jackson is not on there, but I am considering adding it in. Basically, we would run Knoxville and then stay out there an extra week before we come home and go to Jackson. And I'm definitely considering doing that. So we're going to kind of see how things play out. But I think you kind of just know at the end of Knoxville what we want to do. But I would love to get to Jackson. The place was a gorgeous racetrack, gorgeous facility. We ran really, really well there. So it'd be nice to go back. But that's kind of what I'm thinking on that side of things. So but I'd love to. Jackson was a good place to me. When I think of all the tracks I've ran at in my career, if there was a place that defined me a little bit as a racer, that place was, because it was my first big stage with Shark Racing and gave me, and it just all clicked, right? And then Shark Racing ran well there, and their cars got around there good, and my car was so fun to drive all weekend. We ran top 10 every night, and I think made a dash or two, and just ran well. So no complaints at all. Dylan said, are you going to be running anywhere the weekend after Dirt Cup? Right now, I have nothing on my schedule for the weekend after Dirt Cup. I was kind of giving myself a week or two after to kind of get things turned back around, and then we're drive halfway across the country and get things ready to go back there. And basically, I think once we start racing in the Midwest, it feels like we run 4 nights a week for literally for the rest of the season almost. It's not the rest of the season, but the rest of that trip. And then when we get back home, it's 3 nights a week for, at least a month. And then, yeah, it's pretty crazy, pretty crazy schedule. Cameron said, will you be back at English Creek? I'm not sure if we're going to make it back to English Creek. I had a lot of fun there. It was a great racetrack. One of the best outlaw kart tracks I've actually been to. I really enjoyed it. So the only thing about English Creek is it did run really late, which made it difficult. We already had long days before that. And then, staying up till 3 a.m. to race outlaw karts wasn't the most ideal, but yeah, anyway, that was English Creek. Do you plan on running Texas this year? It'd be really cool to run the same night as you, even though I'd be a support class. I'm not sure if I'll make it back to Texas. It's not 100% out of the question. I obviously have a lot of great partners down there. The Boss Builders Outlet Superstore, who is one of my primary sponsors this year, is from that area. But we got to go down there earlier in the year, and then there's not as much 410 racing after that in the area as far as the national scene goes. So not really sure yet, but most likely, we're probably going to be just a little farther north. Brian said, "What did you think of the Dream?" I kind of need to get caught up. I didn't get a chance to watch all the late model stuff. I actually don't even know who won. That's how out of tune sometimes I am with when I'm not racing. I watch racing, but I don't watch it as much as I don't know. Maybe I should or shouldn't. To me, when I'm not racing and I'm watching everyone race, sometimes it makes me sad. And so for me to be like the best person I can be away from the track, sometimes I need to not watch it, so I'm not focused, and then kind of just watch the replay after and the highlights and kind of do my homework that way instead of just being glued into where everyone else is at and how they're doing. Larry said, "I'm from Knoxville. Great to see you racing there." Knoxville is great. I love Knoxville. Really, really cool place. Chase said, "I haven't seen any of your fans in your videos lately. Is it due to a lack of time?" Honestly, yes. Obviously, I'd love to get my fans in my videos more. It's just so difficult. Man, after the races and stuff, like we kind of have a really good routine, but we definitely are going from you have the end of the feature, car comes in, Carly and any other help I have, like they're not hanging out. Like everyone thinks that. I think everyone just cracks a cold one and we just chill there for the night. It's like no, we car comes in and no one's work is done. So they start taking the car apart. When the car loads in our trailer, it basically is ready to unload, pull the tires off and wing, and it's ready to wash. So, they have a solid 15, 20 minutes of wash preparation after the race. Basically, while they're doing that, I'm obviously, taking pictures with fans, signing hero cards, like whatever our location and stuff, whatever that entails, I'm at the back of the trailer, and I'm not going anywhere until the last person leaves. Obviously, I love that everyone comes to support us. And so my job is like, hey, we've had nights where we're there 2 or 3 hours after the races, and some nights we're there 45 minutes. It kind of just really depends. But regardless, I'm there until, usually we're the last team to leave, and I'm totally okay with that. So, that's kind of my duty. And so honestly, usually depending on how our line is, it's obviously difficult to have that chance to sometimes get fans in the video just because like, if I'm doing that real quick, then, people are waiting. And if it's late, so it's just kind of one of those things, but, like I said, good problem to have. And we're, like I said, super thankful for, for everyone that comes and sees us after the races. And we encourage you to come see us after the races. That's kind of when we have the most time. And I feel like sometimes we get some of the most meaningful interactions. David Hayes said, "Are you going to run Knoxville Nationals this year?" I am. 360 and 410 is the plan. Mike S. said, "Tanner, they all want you back east." I know. I want to be back east. Trust me, man. I think about it a lot. I want to be back there, more full time, and we're gonna get there. We are. We're working in the right direction. Our team has taken a big jump this year from where we were before, and our goal is to take another big jump in the future. And it takes time, but it's how it goes. So. One of our great partners is in here, Paul, Earth Environmental, sending some love. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate all you guys do. Cookie Carlson, when is your mom going to race? I want to see more of that for the video. My mom might hop in a car. You never know. But it was actually a great story. This is why I love these lives, because you get to hear some little things. So the night we won the Marvin Smith, my mom hopped in the car. So at the Marvin, they do driver intros. So they line everybody up in the staging lane. And this year, which it took a long time to do, but they give everyone a walkout song, or they don't give it. You pick it, and then they play it for you. They put every driver in the back of a pickup. So like the guy that starts last goes out first. His car gets pushed on the track, and then a truck follows him, if that makes sense, behind his car, right? So he's going down the front stretch, and someone is driving his car. They're just pushing it with like a mule or a quad, and then there's a driver. The driver's in the back of a pickup, so they do that one by one by one. And like I said, it takes about 30-40 seconds for each driver. So we started second, so we were at the very end. So we're waiting, and like, let me tell you, I cannot stand waiting. Like I do not like waiting before a race. I don't really get as nervous to race anymore, I think, for the most part. Like, I'm very lucky that I got to do some of that outlaw stuff and this and that. And like, I think it really helps me not be. The only time I get nervous is when I have to wait around, like, situation like that. You wait 20-30 minutes through driver intros, like one by one. It's like, all right, let's get this show on the road. So my mom was the one that drove my car out, and and I posted a picture of her, and it was really funny. But she said, and obviously sometimes actually driving a sprint car. When I say driving, like being behind the wheel, it's actually almost hardest when you're just getting pushed because your power steering's not working and whatnot. And so and she didn't factor in that you're having to turn a lot to the right because of 12, 13 inches of stagger. And so all that considered on the banking and stuff, she was a mess trying to get to our parking spot as they pushed me out for driver intro. So that was just really funny. And she got out and she's like, I do not know how you do that. That is crazy to sit in that thing and drive. And that's how sprint cars are. They are nuts. But so that was my mom's little time behind the wheel here recently. She had a blast. I don't know if she'll be getting in a sprint car anytime soon, but maybe a kart or something again, or a clone or something, just to have a little bit of fun. Oh, someone said get to the emergency thing. Okay, so yeah, we will talk about that real quick because it did revolve around the Knoxville Nationals. So the okay, so the inside, it's not even much insider news, I guess you could say, but what we're working on right now in the process, it's really cool, being a part of a race like the Knoxville Nationals, right? It's such a big event, and all the top guys obviously do it every season, and they're all about everyone's trying to win best appearing car and best appearing helmet and best appearing crew. And, everybody's gathering, and like, there's so much more to it than just a race. Like, it's funny because I tell people like Knoxville is, Knoxville's not built in Knoxville Raceway is not built in Knoxville, Iowa. Like, Knoxville, Iowa is built around Knoxville Raceway. Like, literally the town is built around the speedway. It's incredible to see. So you have Knoxville. We've been going now. I just ran my first 410 Nationals this last year. So this will be my second 410 Nationals. This will be my third 360 Nationals because I ran 360 Nationals in 21 and then ran it last year, which, remember, we were running fifth and had a problem. But so this year, what we're in the process of doing, if everything goes to plan, I don't like to always say things sometimes before, but we're in the process of doing a special car for Knoxville. So if you guys like our normal scheme, this thing's going to be around all season. But for Knoxville this year, we are going to be doing a special car. And it's going to look a lot different than our car that we have now. So we're really going to change things up. And that car is going to be run for the 410 Nationals. Of course, everyone's, the reason everyone's doing a special car, they want to win best appearing car. I think it pays like $1,500 to win. It's kind of crazy. But so we're kind of going all out. So we're doing some fancy stuff. Some of our partners are really helping us out. The S-Tech company, S-Tech Automotive Wraps, they make a lot of different PPF films that have different colors and stuff that, are on very, very nice and expensive cars. For example, they would, their material would be on a Lamborghini or, any really high dollar cars. They wrap them and have a lot of customers that have high dollar cars that come to them and want to change the color and use their products. And so we're going to use some of their products on our car, and it's going to be really cool. So that's what I'm really excited about. But stuff like this takes time. So right now we're literally working on it, and hopefully here in a couple weeks, the goal is to have it done before we leave in the first of July, kind of that first week, and then we'll have it for the Knoxville Nationals. So it's a lot different, like I said, than the car that we have now. You don't get really any more hints than that, but things might look a little different, and we might have some. We might let's just say it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be really cool. So we've been in the process of working on it now for probably 6, 7, 8 weeks. It's just, like I said, it takes so much time. Like I sat with my designer just at night and like just changing colors and changing this and changing the design and moving logos and moving this and all for Knoxville and stuff like that. So that's kind of our goal, is hopefully go there, obviously have the best appearing car, but and also run well at 410 Nationals, man. We ran good last year. We were, our 410 Nationals, we finished in the C main, which is nothing, obviously that's not very stellar, but we were so close to having, I think, a good shot at being in the B or even being close to locking in because we qualified well. We qualified 6th on our prelim night. We just didn't move through our heat race, and I missed the transfer into the A by 1 spot. If I would have got into the A and then passed some cars, I probably would have been sitting pretty good because of my qualifying effort. But So that's that. As time moves, I might give you guys a couple more hints, but you're gonna have to kind of wait till we're there in Knoxville for that. But like I said, it's gonna be for 410 Nationals. We're not gonna do it for 360 Nationals. 360 Nationals will be this car. Capitani Classic will be this car, and then 410 Nationals will bring it back out. And we might bring it back out after 410 Nationals, possibly at Skagit Speedway for the Sage Fruit Skagit Nationals. We'll just kind of see though. So that's kind of what we're working on now. Some of the cool stuff here in the race shop. Like I said, I can't show you anything, but that's like I said, the things on race teams take a lot of time and putting this stuff, and even just like I said, all the time it took to get all of our normal stuff ready for the season, and then you throw in a whole nother scheme and things get really, really fun. But yep, so that's what I got. David said, are you going to put a wrap on the hauler? I do want to get the hauler wrapped one day. I know there are some rules and regulations. Kind of why we haven't done it is because it kind of makes some of that complicated. Being we're a registered motorhome, but you start getting into that commercial area once you start wrapping your rig and stuff like that. So kind of makes things a little weird. We try to avoid that if possible, but would like to just get even a couple stickers on it. Some of our partners in an 18T, so you can recognize us. I don't know if it's good or bad to be recognized going down the road, but yeah. CK Cody said, what is your opinion on dirt modifieds and the big deal race they had for them? So I don't know, man. Like I said, that's what I'm so out of the loop. I thought the big deal race was the 100,000 to win show. I think it was. I think that's really cool. I don't know what the payout looks like through the field. I don't know anything. I don't know what it paid to start, but any big races like that are awesome. My only thing, and some people are going to say, well, you just want this because you're not, the top guy, but I think it's cool that these races are paying really well, but I do hope that people are mindful in having a purse. And I think even if I was a guy that was winning everything there is to win, and they say this is the number one guy in the sprint car world, I still think I would think the way I'm thinking now, which is just like, man, we need our purses and our structures to pay throughout the field. If it pays $100,000 to win, and pays $1,000 to start, like, to me, that's not, if we're talking a 410 sprint car race, that's like, well, that's not great. But if you could have a race that paid 40 or 50, even 50 grand to win, you cut that 50 off the top, and then it can pay $4,000 to start. Like, I think that's way better. I would rather see purses go that way. Like I said, we do want the money up to win. You're 25, you're 50, you're 40,000, 60, 80, whatever the case may be. But like Dirt Cup this year, they did that. It was $1,000, I think, to start last year. And this year it's 3,000, which is huge. So I think for 410 racing and stuff, I'd love to see the start money. You want to see the start money continue to go up, and you want it to increase what it pays to run 10th, what it pays to run 7th, what it pays to run 5th. And like I said, not that the winner shouldn't, but the winner is going to win. It's, we need all these teams to continue to show up so we can keep putting on shows like these. And I think, one of the big ways to do that, of course, is you got to make the guys that are making the show still, I don't want to say win, and it's maybe not the right word because you're only going to have one winner, but it's got to make sense. So I think in general, all of racing, like I know this is it's an outlaw kart racing example, but we run a race, the Timber 50. And so when you think of outlaw karts, what it costs to run and what you have to put into them and whatnot, it's nowhere near what a big car is. But with that being said, the scale, the outlaw karts, we have these really nice race cars we were racing for 4,000 to win and 500 to start, which was for an outlaw kart race is unbelievable. That's really, really good pay. So we need stuff like that. Like I said, where the guys at the bottom, they're successful for making the show, and the guys that are winning are doing really well. And if you run top 3, top 5, you're doing well as well. So that's that. Mel said, kiddo, will it be the red and white In-N-Out burger wrap? That's good thinking. I can't say yes or no, but maybe we'll have to see. So maybe it'll be that. Maybe it'll be different stickers. We don't know. So, but I have to tease you guys. I have fun doing that a little bit here and there. Levi said the Tuscarora 50 should be on your list for September. They're saying it's going to pay more than the Weichert. That's really cool to hear. And I'm actually not against, I really would like to get to Port. The problem is I think when the Port Royal race is the week after Skagit. So we got to go from Skagit all the way to Port Royal. So you go from like 100 grand there to whatever it pays to win the Tusky. But I mean, shoot, you have like 4 days to get there, and it's 4 days of driving, so that's a pretty gnarly stretch for all the full time guys that are doing it. Would I love to do it? Absolutely. Is it makes sense for us? Not probably as much, especially not being a full time team, but we'll see. Wyatt said, "Do you think you might go to Osh Weekend for the championship? It could be $40,000 to win this year." I would like to get to Osh Weekend. I hear that place is really, really cool. It looks like a great racetrack to me. One of these days, I'll get up there before I'm done being a race car driver. Mike said, "Not running 410 NARC Speed Week." No, we are. We start on Wednesday, so we run Wednesday Southern Oregon, Thursday Roseburg, Friday Cottage Grove, Saturday Willamette, Sunday Elma. It's gonna be a good one. Dallas said, "Tanner, could we see you at 81 Speedway again this year with ASCS National, July 20th? Right now, I don't have that on my schedule. Doesn't mean it's out of the question. We're just going to kind of see how we're running once we're back there. But that 81's a good one. And 81's a good one. I've always had a lot of fun there. That place is, my opinion, one of the better tracks in the country. Great surface, pretty simple facility, not a lot to it. I wouldn't say it's outstanding, but it's very nice, very clean. Just your kind of typical good dirt racing facility, kind of out in the Midwest. So yeah. Ooh, this is a good one. Someone said, "Are you coming back to Rock Rapids, Iowa, this season?" There's a possibility. I think we are off when Rock Rapids. So Rocky is a really cool story. So Rock Rapids, Iowa, it's a small town. I think it's in the northern part of the state. I think so, because we were only like 35 minutes from Huset's. So we ran Huset's on a Sunday, and I found that there was this fair race on a Tuesday. And I was like, "Oh, we're going to go down. It's only 35 minutes from Huset's. This is unbelievable." So we're definitely going to do this. Otherwise, we're just going to sit around all week. So we, drive over and wash after Huset's. So it's a Monday, and then Rocky was on. No, we washed, and then we drove to Rocky. And I posted like, "Hey, we're getting ready to go to Rock Rapids, Iowa." Like I know, I don't know nothing. And dude, the town blew up. Like they were freaking out. There's only like 2,000 or 3,000 population, but I could not believe, like, when we roll into town, people are videoing us showing up, and like we kind of got stuck in a neighborhood because it's kind of hard to get the rigs in. And they were having, like I said, they're having their fair. And, I didn't realize, out here where I'm from, like fair is not as big of a deal, but in the Midwest, like state fair and county fair, like everybody's there, right? Everyone's doing their thing. So, just a really crazy experience. If you felt like celebrities, but yeah, it was really cool going to Rocky. So I really want to get back there. Really cool racetrack, has a lot of potential. I think honestly, the only thing that they, it didn't seem like they had all the right equipment to necessarily to work the track all the time, but I guess it was a really, really good surface, and we had a lot of fun there. We ran second behind Justin Henderson, and like I said, that was a little fair night. So we had a lot of fun there, and we're hoping to get back. So it's gonna be a 360 show. I think it's July 23rd. I haven't put on our schedule yet, but stay tuned. If everything makes sense, we get back there. There's a good chance you could see us at Rocky. Bryce Moody back with another $5 donation. Huge shout out and congratulations to Carly Holmes and our future mutual friends Kayla Zamantis on a recent graduation. Thank you, Bryce. Yeah, no, absolutely. Kayla's one of our friends. She'll be up here for the fastest 5 days. She's kind of helped me run some of my social stuff on certain nights. It's obviously really hard for me to do it all on race day, and then Carly just graduated too. So that's why we were home this weekend, and it was nice, just a chance, obviously, be there, support Carly. She is funny. She put on her thing, and it's cool. Like it's cool that she did this, and I don't know what the conversation looked like, but sometimes, like in school, they, obviously they are against if you tell them that you want to be a professional race car driver. They say that's not realistic, right? And which is whatever. That's, I guess they're just trying to do their job. But so Carly told them to put on her pamphlet, it says each kid what, so-and-so is going to be a welder, and so-and-so is pursuing a career in this and that. And it said Carly Holmes is taking a gap year, which I thought was funny that they put a gap year. Carly's probably not going to take a gap year. I would say that I can't speak for her, but I would say Carly's probably not going to go to college. Just like, well, I attempted to do a little bit of college, and it was kind of during the pandemic. I was doing like a dual credit thing. So I was still in high school, and I was trying to get towards my associates or whatever degree I was going to get. And I just didn't make any sense to do that because the pandemic and the classes were stupid, and whatever. So I just like, all right, I'm done with that. So it's just funny. Carly, they put gap year. Carly's probably not going to go to college like me. And so yeah, long story short, it said that she was trying to pursue a, career in dirt racing basically. So that was really cool. That I don't know what the conversation looked like to get that on there. And if they said like, hey, that doesn't make any sense, but they did it. So that was pretty cool. So Carson Thomas, he dropped a $20 donation that said kick butt this week. Thank you, Carson. Little things like that, really, really help our team. So yeah, so that's kind of why we were home this weekend. I found that funny. Carly, I told him, hey, like I want to be a dirt racer or something in dirt racing, crew chief, whatever. So that's what she is going for right now. And we're both working our butts off towards that direction. We had a comment. Someone was talking about what we were just saying a minute ago. Rocky, hyped. I'll tell Henderson that you are coming back. I told him that I was betting on Tanner to beat you. That's funny. Yeah, Justin was really fast last year at that race. So I'm sure a lot of those guys in the area will be back. It was like a nice little fair race, and I think it was like $3,500 to win. So it's pretty cool for a little 360 show. Chase said, I want to see Carly win her first 360 race. I know, I do too. She's fast, man. She just doesn't obviously have all the laps just with how things have all fell. But I think with some more laps and some seat time, she definitely would win some more limited races and get kind of headed that direction for 360 victories. Definitely keep dropping questions in the chat. How's your guys' Sunday going? Like I said, all of our stuff's just about ready to go now, racing wise, all of our tires. I'll tell you this, tires obviously nowadays are like gold with the price of them. But for I guess any racing, but our sprint car stuff and whatnot. So we went throughout the whole month of May, really trying to not buy like any new tires, just trying to survive off everything we had. Especially going 360 racing, like I try to run all takeoffs, like whatever, just run things until they're just about junk, flip tires, whatever, for all of our 360 stuff. And only time we're allowed to run like something, semi-new, like new or close to, is like, hey, if we're in a really good spot for the feature and we need the rubber. So like I said, we're really, compared to where sometimes 410 racing, you're needing good tires all the time. So we went through all of May, trying to really be conservative with some of our tire stuff. And then now that June's here, like we just had to get a pretty big tire order just to survive because we have no new tires left. And going 410 racing, you definitely probably are going to go through a new right rear a night. Or the right rear might not be junk at the end of the night, but you're going to need a new right rear for the feature or a new right rear to qualify and run the feature. And then whatever it looks like at the end of the night, if you want to keep it or, like I said, or if it's used up. But that's how 410 racing is. So let me tell you. So yeah, I think we'll have like, I don't know, I think we got like 16 new tires showing up, which like we need because we need to be stocked up for the whole entire week. And it's important to have all your tires so you can get different sizing and stuff. And let me tell you, the tire job on a sprint car team is one of the toughest and most grueling because so much dismounting, mounting, rolling out, the chalk mark doesn't line up with, a tire could say it's going to roll out to 94 and it rolls out to 92 and a half. And you're like, what the heck? And then, or, something rolls out correctly. It goes out there and runs under heat for a hot lap session and grows an inch. And so like, yeah, it can be a complete mess sometimes, the tire stuff side of things. But so we're about ready to go with all of our tire works done. We have some used tires left, but we're going to try to, be running a lot better rubber for this, season coming up. Or this week, I should say. Bobby Orr, he dropped a $4.99 donation and $1.99. Thank you so much, Bobby. I appreciate it. How many 410s do you have and what is your goal? So engine-wise, we have 4 engines right now. So we're looking really good, obviously, with all of our 410 stuff. And they're all Ryder Racing engines, and we just try to cycle them out, as much as possible as far as, run one out, send it back, bounce back between. We have one engine that we call like more of our little motor. And it runs really good, but we kind of try to run that stuff more out here because it just seems like it runs better on the smaller tracks. It's very smooth. And then we have, a couple engines that are more big track engines. You would run it like a Knoxville or an Eldora or something like that. But so that's kind of how that is. But my ultimate goal, mainly, I think, obviously, I think there's 2 routes you could go in sprint car racing. You could end up with a really good team that you feel like you got a pretty solid home at. No one is ever safe in dirt racing. But ideally, if you found a home where you're like, hey, man, I you're running really well, you're clicking with everyone, you kind of have the same group of people around you all the time, kind of like a Brad Sweet or David Gravel. They've been with Casey Kane Racing and Big Game Motorsports now for a couple seasons. Now that they've done that, and like they have a good home there and things, a lot of similar people around them all the time. So I think you have that, or more of like a Brian Brown situation. I feel like kind of some of what I've tried to do is build up my own team. The joke is that there's 4 bolts that hold your seat in a car. There's only 4, and they're always loose if you're driving for someone else. If you're not performing right, if they don't like if you have a bad attitude, or if they just don't like your personality, I don't know, whatever the case may be, like you can get fired in a minute. And, or, if you don't have the right funding, if you're supposed to bring funding, or if they don't have funding, like there's, a lot of that stuff. So my thing was like, well, hey, I want to have my own team. So I have my own ride and I kind of can control my own destiny more. Right. And I think, that's the harder route to go because, a lot of people want to race off other people's money. You say when you're driving for someone else, you're driving for an owner and you're just kind of paid to drive the car. But so my opinion is I definitely, I think my ultimate goal is to build up my own team. That's kind of what we're in the process of doing right now, having really good relationships with our partners, having great people that help us, whether that's, businesses and companies in our area or across the country. And then also our manufacturers that, produce our cars, produce the components, produce the wheels, produce, whatever the case may be, and that kind of thing. And, really working on having the inventory to be able to race at a high level with our equipment, so that's having a couple cars built, ready to go, having backups, having this, having that, all that side of things. So I'm working more on that right now. I feel like that's really cool. I think it's it's neat to have all your own stuff and have those cool relationships. And I think it feels a little more meaningful when you win. But to each their own. Everyone has their own way of doing it. But to me, I just feel like in today's day and age, it's harder. But, there's less and less rides out there. So if you're a hired guy and you're up against 30 or 40 guys to get that spot, you definitely can get the spot, but there's just no guarantee. And like I said, you can get fired. Nowadays, guys get fired for not for anything, but they just I'm saying the fuse can be short, and there's a lot of, it seems like a lot of nowadays you see guys it's very unexpected. There's not a lot of time. And then you're kind of left without a job, you could say, or without a ride. So yeah, I'm going to kind of try to go the other route, I think. And like I said, we kind of do things a little bit different and we have a lot of fun doing it that way. And so that's where we're working towards. If you guys have questions, definitely keep dropping them in the chat. Brett Butler said, are you coming to Kings Royal this year? I am supposed to come to Kings Royal. That is on my schedule. We will, we'll see. But I'm really excited to get back to Eldora. It's pretty crazy to say I've been to Eldora now. I forget about stuff like that. Yeah, Eldora is a really neat place. I feel like somewhere you got to run, you got to run a lot to get good there. And I'm going to have 4 nights on my schedule this season. So that should be hopefully enough seat time to feel a little more comfortable than the first time I was there. All sorts of good stuff. Someone said, have you ever had beef with another driver? Yes. I think any race car driver has had beef with someone or another from time to time. It just happens, man. It really does. Andrew said, John Egan's still helping you guys at Knoxville. Man, I talked to John a lot. Really good dude. Super smart. All good things to say about him. So I'm sure he'll definitely be giving me some pointers again this year, helping me get around the place. Like I said, he's really, 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 really smart. Won a lot of races. Knows how to set up a car. Can watch a car and see what it needs. And heck, probably can still drive. So me and John are close friends. Really, really thankful for he's helped me. He's really pointed me around that place. Helped me progress a lot faster in a short amount of time. James just got home from the track. What did I miss? Nothing crazy. We did a drawing earlier for the Ultimate Dirt Cup experience, and then also I was telling everyone about our Knoxville car. So we have a Knoxville car that we're in the process of working on for this year's nationals, and it's going to be pretty sweet. iMeyer9093 said, when will you be at Lawrenceburg Speedway? I need to run Lawrenceburg. That place looks gnarly. I'm not going to lie. It looks like a pretty crazy racetrack. Super banked, and you got to run it really hard and slide guys, and looks like you're going pretty fast. Lawrenceburg's always been one I've had circled just to kind of because you have to go there eventually. I think it's more probably intimidating than anything. Calvin said, shout out from Medford, Miss CRA Racing back in Arizona, Manzanita. Best luck this year. Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm sad I never got to see Manzanita. That place looked like a really, really cool racetrack. Wow said, will you race at Antioch again? I don't have Antioch on the schedule again this year. That place was pretty crazy. A little bit different kind of configuration and facility-wise. But yeah, I've now been there one time, and I guess if it makes sense again to go, then of course we will, we'll check it out on our schedule. Let's see. KSI said, are you going back to Grays Harbor Raceway in Elma for the NARC 410 Show Timber Cup? Yes. So I'll be there for the high limit race and the Timber Cup. So that is coming up, and shoot, just Timber Cup's not far away. So Bryce Moody said Antioch was a little sketch. Sketch is a good word, probably. Yeah, it's a little different. Sawyer said, are you going to race Sunset? Sunset's a really cool racetrack. It's Banks, Oregon. It's a little farther north. It's about 4 hours up there. I don't have them on the schedule this year, but I do really want to get back to the Banks Bull Ring. It's a really cool racetrack. It's so small. I mean, it's like a quarter mile around the top. It's like a fifth mile around the bottom. So yeah, it's pretty nuts. Well, I appreciate a lot of you guys for sending in questions and whatnot. Like I said, to kind of talk about what we were mentioning earlier. Everything's about ready to go for Speed Week. We're feeling ready. I feel excited, nervous, kind of a lot of different things. Want things to go so well. So like I said, you're trying to do everything you can ahead of time. So when it's time to go racing, things are serious and real, and everyone knows what their job is and what we got to do to be successful and go have a shot at winning. So, like I said, things are ready to go. I think for today, that was fun. Glad to talk to you guys all, and I appreciate you, tuning in and hanging out with me for a little bit. I will see you all in the next one. We have a lot of fun content that's going to be coming out this week. Then we're going to have all those Speed Week videos and all that, and Knoxville, Kings Royal, all that's right around the corner. Our Midwest trip, so like things felt like they've been a little slow the last couple weeks just because we've only raced like once or twice a week, but like we have a lot ahead of us. So. Thank you guys all, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your Sunday, and we'll talk soon. All right.